Today, I'm sharing with you inspiration using the first STAMPtember 2025 collaboration set with Simon Says Stamp and Trinity Stamps. Keep in mind that these sets are available while supplies last. I will have links to all the supplies I'm using today listed down below in the video description and over on my blog. This set is called Ice Cream Gnome, and we have these three adorable gnomes. Well, I guess two gnomes because one is melted ice cream, and then we have some really great birthday sentiments. Sentiments include there's no one sweeter than you, it's an extra sprinkles kind of day, happy birthday, and make a wish. I am one that loves an adorable gnome on my cards. So I'm going to create a birthday card for you today. I'm going to start off by stamping all three of the images and one of the sentiments. I do stamp another sentiment later on, but for now, this was the one that really spoke to me. I am stamping on 80-pound white cardstock using an alcohol-friendly ink, and then I am going to color these in with my Olo markers. So for the cones, which is what I'm starting to color first, I'm going to be using the colors YO 2.7, YO 2.5, and YO 2.3. And I did that for both of the cones. Now you can see for the first cone with the melted ice cream, I put the shadow area kind of down towards the bottom of the cone. But for that one that's in a bucket, I made the highlight area right in the center. So I added the darkest color on the right and left-hand side of the cone. Then for the skin, which we really don't have a lot peeking out with the gnomes, I found a nice kind of pinky color and I did OR 4.4, OR 4.2, and OR 4.1. I didn't color in the nose on the melted ice cream because I'm going to make that just all one color. I moved on to the boots and I am doing OR 4.8, OR 4.7, and OR 4.4. Then for the beards, I'm doing W3 and W1. I am leaving a lot of white space when it comes to the beards. Sometimes I overdo it and it just looks really dirty. So I started with the W3 and I followed the artist drawn lines on there to add that darkest shade. And then I'm going to bring it in with a W1 to kind of soften that out a little bit. So I left a lot of white space in there. Next, I'm going to move on to the melted ice cream, which is just really such a fun image. I did R0.3, R0.2, and R0.1. Now, on the Olo website, they have an actual guide that you can print off, and I reference that a lot when I'm picking my colors because it shows the colors next to each other and helps me select how dark or how light I want to go with my colors. I tend to get a little heavy-handed and actually get a little dark when it comes to coloring. So I really tried to keep this really nice and light and airy feeling to it. For the straw that's sticking out of the melted ice cream, I just grabbed some random colors out of my stash and they kind of resembled a rainbow. I'm missing a couple colors, but pretty sure that we got the idea. Now, back down to the gnome that is in that bucket, I am coming in with an O4.3, O4.1, and O4.0. Now, you may notice that I am jumping around a lot between my images, and that was because I really couldn't decide what color outfit I wanted this gnome to be, or even what color cake I wanted to do. So I left it for last while I thought about it. I decided to go with a nice bright blue. I did B2.4, B2.2, and B0.2. The 0.2 actually was a mistake. I just didn't put my glasses on to pick out the right marker, but it still worked out. Now for the cake, I went with a chocolate cake. Are you a chocolate lover or are you more of a white cake lover? I personally love white cake with cream cheese frosting, of course, but I don't know, something about a chocolate cake on a card just screamed birthday. So I did O7.8, O7.7, and O7.3 for the actual cake portion. And then I added an O4.0 for the icing. So I didn't want to get too dark and too carried away with those dark colors there. And then the last piece that I need to finish up is the belt that goes around the bucket. And for that, I did a W7, W5, and a W3. Now that all my coloring is done, I'm going to line up the coordinating dies, hold them down with a low tack tape, and die cut them out. So these are ready to be popped up on the front of my card. For a background, I really contemplating going all in on a rainbow card, but decided to really keep the focus on these adorable gnomes. So I have a piece of white cardstock cut to 4¼ by 5½. And the best way to get everybody to fit was to do this in a landscape orientation. I am bringing out this streamers stencil. This is from the layering balloon border stencil, and I placed it over the top of my cardstock, and I am holding the bottom portion down with Post-it tape to protect that. And then I'm going to apply Fool's Gold Astro paste over the top. So it's going to be just some really nice, shiny, sparkly streamers in the background. I was a little nervous when I pulled this up that maybe I got some of that paste underneath my Post-it tape, but it didn't. And it just kind of made a nice background. And I have that white space on the bottom as a grounding point for my gnomes. Now, once that was dry, which was only about maybe 15 minutes, I added tape runner to the front of a top folding card base, added my streamers over the top, and now I can come in and add my gnomes. So I'm starting with the one that's going to go in the center, which is my gnome that has the cake on his head for a hat. And I'm popping all of these up with thin foam squares. I kept the two that have the ice cream cone on them off on the right-hand side to balance out the design. I did off screen stamp the happy birthday. I felt it just needed something more to it, but I did go ahead. I added my smaller sentiment underneath right in the middle using liquid glue, and then I am popping up the happy birthday with regular foam squares. Then I'm going to just come in and add a few highlights to my cake and my ice cream cones using a white gel pen. I think adding something like stickles or any type of glitter over the top of your cake would be a really fun added touch too. And now we have this really fun and adorable birthday card ready to send out. I hope you all enjoyed today's inspiration. Again, this is limited availability, so only while supplies last and exclusively over at Simon Says Stamp. The supplies will be linked down below in the video description. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification so you're notified when new videos are posted. Here's another video that I think you may enjoy.